Government House, Aluasa. In Oyo State, thousands of youths trooped out again to Ibadan in continuation of the End SARS protest. Armed with placards with various inscriptions, the protesting youths gathered at Trans along the UI Bodija Road, chanting End SARS, no SWAT, as they marched on the streets. There was also report of heavy gridlock on the Onisha Owerri Road following the ongoing massive protest in Oka and Enugu states. The Federal Capital Territory Security Committee has banned End SARS protests in Abuja for alleged violation of the COVID-19 protocols. The FCT administration said it was concerned that despite the scrapping of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad by the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, the demonstrations had continued, causing inconveniences to law-abiding citizens. The resolutions of the meeting were contained in a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the FCT, Minister Anthony Ogunle. The meeting was presided over by the FCT Minister, Mohammed Bello. Lagos State Government has set up a commission of inquiry to investigate cases of brutality by operatives of the disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad in the state. The state governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, announced this while briefing newsmen after a National Economic Council meeting attended by Nigerian governors. Sanwo-Olu said the 7-man committee are expected to investigate verifiable cases of SARS abuse and determine action to be taken in terms of compensation for the victims and prosecution of culprits. He disclosed that the move came after the National Economic Council advised that some of the 5-point demands of the youths be implemented locally by state governors.
Is that all governors will take some of the decisions locally in terms of implementing the 5 points that have been stated, in the demands for the answers. And so for us in Lagos, this evening, we are setting up a panel of inquiry and restitution for victims of SARS that have related abuses in Lagos State. This 7-man panel will ensure that all with verifiable cases of SARS brutality or fatality for that matter receive justice, not only by ensuring that compensations are paid to them, but justice in terms of prosecution, if need be, will be meted out to people that are found wanted. It's the same model that NEC has advised that all states take. But I'm pushing it because I'm ready to make those pronouncements.
Meanwhile, the Lagos State government has denied sponsoring thugs to disrupt the ongoing protest in the state. The state government, in a statement, said such wild allegations that it was sponsoring attacks on End SARS protesters were concocted by enemies of peace to whip up sentiments against the government, which has been doing everything possible to resolve the crisis by identifying with our youths and in their efforts towards police reforms. Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, added in the statement that the government seeks the cooperation of all in ensuring that the crisis is put behind them as soon as possible. He noted that Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has been preaching peace, so has the Deputy Governor. Protesters have been coming under attack in Lagos and Abuja, with some saying the attackers are sponsored by the government. The president of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has asked the anti-SARS protesters to end their demonstrations to enable President Muhammadu Buhari work on the implementation of their 5-point demands. Lawan said this while making his submission on the continued occupation of major cities in the country by the End-SARS protesters.
Continuing protest, since we have been able to make our point and government had to continue the protest, we implement the demands that it had accepted from the protesters. To do otherwise is to make it even difficult or even impossible for government to really do these things in good time. We should hold government responsible when we give it the opportunity to do those things that it say it will do and it fails.
Still on the End SARS campaign, governors of the 19 northern states of the Federation have rejected the disbandment of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. Chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, Simon Lalong, who is also the governor of Plateau State, disclosed this while briefing State House correspondents after a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari. The northern governors said the disbanded police unit has been useful in the fight against insecurity in the north, adding that what is needed is the reformation of the unit to enable it to discharge its functions optimally.
But the conclusion on it is that when we see issues like this, because most of the complaints were varied from one state to the other. In one aspect, when people said they don't want SARS, in some states they are saying they want SARS. They want SARS. With reform SARS. They want a reform SARS because as far as they are concerned, some of these SARS help them a lot in addressing their insecurity. let us not just say that we are throwing the baby with the bathwater. If there are good ones, you don't chase them away. So as SARS is banned, we are now looking forward to an opinion, because most of the states in the north said no. They want SARS because SARS helped them. But no said if no SARS, it would not have been surviving today. Niger and almost all parts. So if we are addressing it like that, what is going wrong in some places? Is it the process of recruitment? Is it the character of the people?
Inspector General of Police IGP Mohammed Adamu on Sunday announced the disbandment of SARS following nationwide protests against the alleged human rights violations of the unit. But the protests continued as the End SARS campaigners demanded the prosecution of all officers named in cases of rights abuses. The police leadership has promised reforms and started with setting up a new unit named Special Weapons and Tactics SWAT. The Nigerian Medical Association NMA has backed the federal government in their decision to carry out psychiatric evaluation on police officers. National President of NMA, Professor Innocent Uja, said this in a reaction to the NSAS campaign holding nationwide. Professor Uja, who spoke during his two-day working visit to Rivers State, commended the state government for being proactive in the management of the COVID-19 pandemic and improving the welfare of doctors and health workers in the state.
It's a nomenclature. Is the action, attitude, and behavior of those who are there. And the most important thing that I heard this morning or yesterday was the fact that these people will have to have psychiatric assessment. That comes to the doctor. Psychiatric assessment. They must be psychologically and psychiatrically treated, evaluated, and see how much of them are allowed to go. So it is only necessary that they should be educated, they should be properly reformed. I think that is what every Nigerian is saying. The brutality is too much and we cannot accept it. So the NMA is saying.
The NMA boss, who is also the Vice Chancellor of Federal Medical Health College, Otukpo, Benue State, called on federal and state governors to improve the quality of healthcare services for Nigerians. You're listening to The World News on Today 95.1 FM. After the break, we'll be back with more stories, foreign and sports news. Stay tuned.
Every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Welcome back. Still listening to the World News here on Today 95.1 FM. 8 minutes has gone past the hour of 7. Senate Committee on Local Loans and Foreign Debts says it is convinced about the quality of federal road projects constructed by the Rivers State government. Chairman of Senate Committee on Local Loans and Foreign Debts, Clifford Odia, said this after embarking on a verification tour of some projects with Governor Nyesom Wike. Senator Odia, who encouraged other states to take up important federal projects, said the committee will facilitate the repayment plan.
Approval to Rivers State government to execute some federal roads in Rivers State. Rivers State has completed these projects and has requested for payment from the federal government. In line with Section 88 of the 1999 Constitution, federal government has requested for a resolution of the National Assembly to enable them to effect this payment. That is why we have come to see this project for ourselves. We have gone around 8 projects. Some of them, the element interchange, the Rumokoro dual carriageway, Kore Road, and the flyover at Ajib Junction, and the dualization of the airport road through Isioko, among others. We have seen these projects ourselves, and I can confidently confirm to you that these projects were executed in tandem with the best practices and in line with engineering best practices.
On his part, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike said he will work on federal roads, whether the federal government will repay or not.
It is not left for them now to go back to the Senate and the House of Representatives to present their reports and then take a final decision. But for us, we are happy. One of the reasons why I said I must go with them, so we'll be able to see all the projects. I didn't want them to see one project and go back. And from what they said, they're quite satisfied. And then I also took the opportunity to tell them around of the new 5 flyovers that we are doing. First of all, who are those who will be direct beneficiaries? They are the people of Rivers State. They are those who are doing business. The mere fact that they are federal roads does not mean that you are not able to suffer. It's part of their responsibility to move economic activities, to make sure people are living comfortably well. Whether the federal government will fund us or not, that is not an issue to us.
The River State House of Assembly has resolved that the House Committee on Neighborhood Watch and Security meet with the security agencies to ensure the unconditional release of those kidnapped at a funeral in Boni local government area over a month ago. This follows a motion presented on the floor of the House by the lawmaker representing Boni constituency, Abinye Pebble. Abinye Pebble, in his prayers, called on the security agencies to take necessary steps to effect the release of the 5 victims. Speaker of the House, Ikunyo Wajibani, in his submission, promised that the Assembly will continue to stand with the people of Boni. The chiefs and elders of Rumui Poku no Wozuzu in Nkwo village in Rumo Limini community in Obiakpo local government area of River State have dissociated themselves from recent publications made by some group of agitators claiming that Nkwo is now a kingdom. The people also distanced themselves from the installation of one chief Ikechi Wagbara as the king of Nkwo kingdom and one Chikwe Iwenwenwo as chief of Rumu Ipoku no Wozuzu in Nkwo kingdom. There has been a controversy among communities in Rumo Limini following a breakout by some villages, which is not going down well with some families and villages. A statement by the chiefs and elders of Rumi Poku no Wozuzu said those agitating for Nkwo Kingdom are mischievous and are trying to bring about disunity among the peaceful Rumo Limini community. The people therefore called on the general public to disregard the said publications made by the agitators and also appealed to the state government to call the persons to order, saying the agitation may likely resort to lawlessness and breach of peace in Rumo Limini community. Experts have re-emphasized the danger of consuming genetically modified organisms, GMOs, which are used to create new genes for seedlings and staple foods. The experts also said the deployment of chemicals into Nigeria's soil system by commercial farmers is destroying the arability of soil and destroys the environment. A molecular biologist and medical research scientist, Ifeanyi Kasmir, who is advocating the importance of preserving organic foods, said this during a training put together by Health of Mother Earth Foundation for media professionals in Port Harcourt, the River State capital.
Using an organism to insert its gene in the corn so that when I plant the corn, I can pour herbicides on it, chemical. The corn will not die, but all the grasses or weed growing around it will die. Now, what am I doing? I am in a bid to grow corn, destroying the biosystem, destroying the ecosystem, destroying the soil, destroying the environment. That is one huge drawback. In fact, Nigerians must know that the way and manner we deploy chemicals in our soil preparation and also in our farming system is a disaster. You take our beans, which is the poor man's food in Nigeria, cowpea, you modify it, you take a gene that will make it resist a pest and you put it. So as it's growing, it's producing chemical that kills pests. We do not know enough about the unintended effects of all this modification. We do not know.
Also speaking, the executive director of HOMEF, Nimo Bassi, said the training was organized to educate journalists on the dangers of genetically modified organisms who are expected to inform Nigerians on the health implications of the unhealthy trend. Our correspondent Victor Zema reports that genetically modified organisms, GMOs, are biological elements used to create artificial seedlings for the main purpose of commercial farming. On the foreign scene, at least 30 people have been killed following a sudden torrential rains and flooding in southern India. AFP reports that in Hyderabad city, home to top IT companies, 9 people were killed when a wall collapsed on them and 10 others died from electrocution and drowning. Images showed cars being washed away by swirling waters, bridges submerged by swollen rivers, and trucks stranded on roads inundated by flooding. 8 members of the family who were stranded and standing on their balcony to watch the rain were also washed away due to sudden flooding in Hyderabad, with 2 of them found dead while the search is on for the remaining 6. Personnel from the Army and the National Disaster Response Force have been deployed to evacuate stranded residents. Weather officials blame the sudden deluge on a depression in the Bay of Bengal. And in sports, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta says clubs must help each other make football more sustainable after plans for Project Big Picture were rejected. Arteta believes clubs have an obligation to protect the lower leagues in grassroots football. Premier League clubs unanimously agreed on Wednesday that the proposals would not be endorsed or pursued. Southampton boss Ralph Hasenhuttl says the plans will make the league boring and remove the chance of anyone doing what he described as leisure. The plans proposed by Liverpool and Manchester United were rejected at a meeting of the 20 clubs in England's top flight, who instead agreed to work together on a new strategic plan for the financing of English football. And to end the news, here's a summary of the major stories. Federal Capital Territory Abuja has banned NSAS protests in Abuja as demonstrations against police brutality enters day 9. Lagos State government has set up a commission of inquiry to investigate cases of police brutality in the state. We also told you that Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has pledged more infrastructure in the state regardless of federal government's reform payment plan to the state. And on the foreign scene, flood has claimed 30 lives after a heavy rainfall in India. And that was the news, as edited by Chinedu Iwuna. For comments and inquiries, please call 081-5341-8657 or 081-443-43502, or send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. Do not forget, you must take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap under running water. Avoid touching your face in high contact surfaces to prevent coronavirus. I am Annie Abdusalam. Do have a great morning.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Responsible parenting begins with knowing your HIV status. That is why all pregnant women should attend antenatal clinic, where they can access free HIV testing and counseling services. Do you know HIV can be transmitted from an HIV positive mother to her child during pregnancy, childbirth, and breastfeeding? Research shows that mother-to-child transmission accounts for the vast majority of infections in children 0 to 4 years. However, mother-to-child transmission of HIV can be prevented when a mother takes recommended drugs and precautions during and after pregnancy. Protect yourself and loved ones by getting tested, practicing safe sex and good personal hygiene. Do not discriminate against persons living with HIV. HIV is not a death sentence. Get tested. Know your status. Remember, COVID-19 is still out there. Use your face mask properly. Wash your hands or use hand sanitizer regularly and avoid large gatherings.
This message is from Saving 1 Million Lives Program for Results, Rivers State Ministry of Health.
Government special announcement. Disasters resulting from unsafe practices in the oil and gas industry, especially gas and pipeline explosions, seem inevitable nowadays. But obeying and applying safety standards, it can be preventable. This is why His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Rivers State, Chief Barrister Nyesom Wike, for his love and overwhelming interest in the protection of life and property of Rivers people, has set up a gas safety compliance task force to arrest and prosecute all those operating illegal gas plants, those decanting gas in shops and public places, and those selling substandard cylinders, as well as those operating against standard DPR guidelines to avert looming danger of gas explosion. You are therefore advised to stop all unsafe and illegal gas businesses, as the River State Government LPG Monitoring Committee Elias Task Force, supervised by the Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources in collaboration with the DPR, will be monitoring all gas facilities regularly to ensure high-level compliance to safety procedures in the gas sector in River State.
If you have any information on illegal plants, call these numbers: 0906 846 3211 or 0802-276-2104.
This message is brought to you by Sir Dr. Peter Mayday, Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources, River State.
Welcome to the Peak Breakfast Show, brought to you by Peak Milk. Good morning, everyone. It's time for the Peak Breakfast Show. Of course, this is a show where we talk about the amazing success stories of some of the world's biggest and some of your favorite sports stars. We do this to inspire you because we want you to be reaching and driven on the way to the peak of your career, because as Peak Milk always says, it's in you. You can listen to the show every Monday and Friday on the station and at this time as we bring you the difference of your favorite sports stars. The show is brought to you once again by your favorite nutritious and delicious Peak Milk, which contains 28 you need vitamins and minerals, including vitamins B1, B12, and also iodine. It also comes in various packs and prices, so there is something for everyone. Now, here are the different segments to look forward to on the Peak Breakfast Show. We start things off with the Peak Personality of the Day segment, where we tell you the success story of one big sporting icon, taking from different sports, tell you about their successes as we prove to you that just like these stars, you can also be great. We'll also do some cooking on the show by sharing with you the Peak Milk recipe of the day, and not forgetting, of course, the Peak Productivity tip to help you be productive on a day-to-day basis, especially in these times of working from home. Don't forget, guys, you can follow Peak Milk on social media, on Twitter at Peak Milk, on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Peak Milk. We'll go on a break. When we come back, it'll be time for the Peak Personality of the Day, right here on the Peak Breakfast Show.
Casey and I, we gel perfectly. We support the same club. Our taste in music, totally in sync. But there's one area where we differ. Casey loves his Peak Filled Milk because it is low in cholesterol. I, on the other hand, I love my Peak Full Cream Milk because it is rich and creamy. So, choose your Peak today.
Peak. Reach for your peak.
Reach for your peak.
It really gets me going.
And listen to the Peak Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. It is still the Peak of Breakfast Show. Now, today's edition, our personality of the day is a footballer who has taken the world by storm and has already written her name in gold as far as the history of Nigerian and African football is concerned, despite being only 25 years old. Her name is Azizat Oshoala. Now, Azizat Lamina Oshoala was born on the 9th of October back in 1994 and plays for Spanish side FC Barcelona Femení in the Primera Division as a forward. Now, she's on course to become not just the greatest African female footballer ever, but also one of the best in the world. She hit the ground running as a teenager by emerging as the best player and top goal scorer at the 2014 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup, and she was also named the best player and second top scorer with the Super Falcons team that won the 2014 African Women's Championships. Inevitably, her great form and performances back then caught the eyes of the world, and big clubs came calling. In January of 2015, Azizat Oshoala and then at the age of 20, she was described by the Liverpool manager as one of the best young players in the world. Now, of course, Liverpool finished 8th out of 7 teams in that season, with Oshoala mostly ruled out by a knee injury, but that didn't exactly stop her from shining, because the very next year, Arsenal ladies activated a buyout clause, ensuring that she moved over to North London. Now, at Arsenal, she continued her growth and development as a world-class footballer, and in a single season at Arsenal, she won the FA Women's Cup in 2016. By 2017, Azizat Oshoala was on the move once again, signing for Chinese giant Dalian Quanjian. Now, in China, she helped Dalian win the league title, and she was also the top scorer in the Chinese Women's Super League. Her journey to greatness continued when European heavyweights FC Barcelona Femení signed her, initially on a loan deal, until the end of the season. As usual, she settled in perfectly and famously scored Barcelona's only goal in the 4-1 defeat to Lyon in the 2019 UEFA Women's Champions League final. On the 31st of May 2019, Barcelona announced that Oshoala's full transfer to the club had been confirmed, and her contract has been extended until 2022. And of course, she did start the year 2020 on a fantastic note, scoring 4 goals in Barcelona's 6-0 victory against CD Tacon. Now, Oshoala found success as a forward for Nigeria's youth teams, but made most of her early appearances for the senior national team playing as an attacking midfielder. She was nicknamed Set-Off after the popular Dutch footballer, but some of her teammates also call her Super Z. In addition to a glorious 2014 where she featured for Nigeria at the Youth Championship Championship and also won the African Women's Championship. She has since added the 2016, 2018 and 2019 African Women's Championships to her litany of national team success medals. She also, of course, helped the national team reach the knockout phase of the 2019 Women's World Cup in France. On an individual note, she has covered many grounds, emerging as the Golden Boot and Golden Ball winner in Youth and African Championships, and also at 25, she's clearly just at the beginning. Without mincing words, Oshola will go down as one of the greatest African footballers of all time, and she's already doing so at the tender age of 25. And that's why, of course, she is our peak personality of the day.
My mother-in-law and I are like 5 and 6. And our Gile game, it's copy and paste. But when it comes to our favorite milk, we're so different. My mother-in-law loves her pig-filled milk because it's low in cholesterol. And I love my pig full cream milk because it's rich and creamy. And that's why I buy both. So choose your pig today.
Pig. Reach for your pig.
Pig Breakfast Show. Success, motivation, nutrition.
Welcome back to the show, guys. Let's get into the peak productivity tip for today. If you're just joining us, this is the Peak Breakfast Show. Now, today's productivity tip is one that we all need to listen to attentively. Learn from successes just as much as you learn from mistakes. Now, you can make efficient processes even more efficient when you succeed at them. One of the challenges of highly productive people is ensuring that fast work is also good work. When you're working quickly, you open yourself up to making mistakes. Highly productive people tackle that risk by learning and improving at every possible moment so that producing good work becomes intuitive. Now, learning from mistakes is obvious, although of course still valuable. When something goes wrong, analyzing the mistakes and looking for ways to prevent them is a massively valuable learning experience. But also important and less focused on is learning from successes. When something goes well, ask yourself why. When you have success, it is tempting to pop the champagne and start to celebrate. And don't get it wrong, it is good to celebrate successes, but successes also deserve every bit as much scrutiny as failures. Highly productive people make the most of successes by figuring out how to repeat or even improve. What went well and why? Key questions to ask yourself to ensure that next time when you succeed, it will be the result of a great formula. That's it for our peak productivity tip. Let's go on a break. When we come back, do some cooking on the show with a pig milk recipe of the day.
Casey and I, we gel perfectly. We support the same club. Our taste in music, totally in sync. But there's one area where we differ. Casey loves his peak-filled milk because it is low in cholesterol. I, on the other hand, I love my peak full cream milk because it is rich and creamy. So, choose your peak today.
Peak. Reach for your peak.
Pig Breakfast Show. A little bit of everything you need to reach your peak.
Welcome back to the Pig Breakfast Show, brought to you by Pig Milk. On the show today, we recommend a nutritious recipe that will not only leave you licking your lips, but also help you develop strong antibodies and keep you healthy. It's the creamy cucumber salad. Now, don't worry guys, this one is very easy and quick to prepare. Here's how you get it done. This salad needs just a little bit of dressing to coat the vegetables. When left to sit before serving, the liquid from the cucumbers and the tomatoes thins the dressing and mellows it slightly. Now here are the ingredients needed. 1 heaping tablespoon of mayonnaise, 2 teaspoons red wine vinegar, half teaspoon peak evaporated milk, a pinch of salt and black pepper, 1 large cucumber or 2 small ones, and of course 1 large tomato. Here's how to prepare. In a bowl, mix together mayonnaise, red wine vinegar, peak evaporated milk, a pinch of salt and black pepper. Rinse your vegetables properly and cut your cucumber into half and then quarter and then chop. For the tomato, cut into half and then cut the wedges and also chop. You have perfect shapes. Pour these into a bowl and pour in the mayo mix and toss it to coat. Let the salad sit for 30 minutes, although the longer the better. Now when you serve, it'll be fantastic. Now this recipe serves just 1 person, but if you want to serve 2 people, all you have to do is double the ingredients. Once again, here are the ingredients needed. 1 heaping spoon of mayonnaise, 2 teaspoons of red wine vinegar, a half teaspoon of peak evaporated milk, a pinch of salt and black pepper, 1 large cucumber or 2 small ones, and of course 1 large tomato. And there you have it. Get all this together in a bowl. Mix the mayonnaise, red wine vinegar and peak evaporated milk, and then of course rinse and chop your vegetables properly. Pour all of these into a bowl and pour in the mayo mix and toss to coat. Leave it to rest and then go ahead, enjoy. On that note, it's a wrap on today's edition of the Pig Breakfast Show. It's been a pleasure bringing the show your way. We trust that you've enjoyed it. Make sure you listen to us next time right here on this dial for another edition of the fantastic Pig Breakfast Show. The show is brought to you by Pig Milk, and of course you can always stay in touch with Pig Milk on Twitter @Pig Milk and also on Facebook, www.facebook.com/pigmilk.
Thanks for listening to the Pig Breakfast Show. Brought to you by Pig Milk.
For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Sports Attack on Today95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. My name is Adekuri Odwan, Nigerian first ever world silver medalist in wrestling.
Well, a beautiful morning to you all. Welcome to Sports Attack on your premium talk, news and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM right here in the finest city in this side of the world, Port Harcourt. My name is Wisdom Obina and I'll be your Superman to fly you through the world of sports this morning. Fasten your seatbelts for another all-informative cruise through the ever-exciting world of sports. Well, we start off with the Edo Festival. That's the National Sports Festival that is set to come up in Edo State. Now, discussions over a possible return of the 2020 National Sports Festival will take center stage as the National Council on Sports meet next week in Lagos in a later dated October 7th and signed by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, Gabriel Aduda, and sent to all state sports ministries and sports commission, which was seen by, of course, the Punch. The 2020 National Sports Festival is one of the items for discussion. And moving on to the IOC, where the International Olympic Committee tried to assure dozens of international sports federations yesterday that the postponed Tokyo Games will open on July 23rd. The IOC and Tokyo organizers have been holding online sessions this week with about 200 national Olympic committees and more than 30 summer sports bodies that are represented on the program. Quoting them, say, "We are very confident that the games in Tokyo next year will take place." IOC Sports Director Kit McConnell told delegates, "We are moving forward on these bases." There's still a lot of doubts on that one. And former London Marathon winner Daniel Wanjiru of Kenya has been banned from competing for 4 years for doping. The Athletics Integrity Unit said it was highly likely that Wanjiru used prohibited substances, citing abnormalities in his biological passport. The 28-year-old Wanjiru's 4-year ban ends December 8, 2023. Wanjiru, who had been provisionally suspended in April, won the London Marathon in 2017 and the Amsterdam Marathon in 2016. And let's talk boxing this morning. Boxing trainer Ben Davidson says Deontay Wilder is not scared of fighting Tyson Fury, suspecting this could be a case of extending the timing for more money. Davidson was largely unknown before he was picked by Fury to guide his comeback. He helped Fury lose 10 stone, regain his hunger, and was in his corner for 5 fights, including the first fight with Deontay Wilder. For the rematch, though, Fury looked elsewhere. Davidson is surprised that rumors are making the rounds among boxing fans that Wilder is scared.
Listen, let me explain something, yeah? Fighters are not scared to fight, okay? And they're getting truckloads of money. So either way, they're not scared to fight. But it's a case of, does he think, okay, do you know what, I could do a fight in between, or need a little bit more time, or is he being told we're going to get the fight on by his side, we're going to get the fight on when crowds are back? You don't know, there's so many different if, buts and maybes. I'm just making assumptions, but for me, he's lost twice. What more, you're going to get well paid for it. So what would he be thinking, I don't fancy the fight for? The worst has happened, didn't it? Do you know what I mean?
More on this one. Former WBC cruiserweight champion Tony Bellew says the only need for a third fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury is to give Wilder a pension package, adding that he is happy it never happened. Tyson Fury came out earlier this week to disclose that he was moving on from the anticipated trilogy fight with the Bronze Bomber after both parties failed to agree on a deal with the Gypsy King, accusing Wilder of running. Bellew says the world must start looking forward to what would be one of the biggest fights of all time, Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua.
The only need for the third fight was to give Deontay Wilder his pension fund out of boxing, in my opinion. So I'm happy it's not happening. Make no mistake, Deontay Wilder's got many places to go with that punch, mate. You've just got to be very careful whoever he sets eyes on. It'll be great to see Fury back out. He's needed now for British boxing. He is. He's a huge name. The sooner him and AJ get down to business, the better. That's what we all want to see. That's the biggest fight this country's ever seen in any lifetime, in any era. That will be the biggest fight this country will ever see.
Now, who will the Gypsy King face next? Tony Bellew? Would it be Daniel Dubois or Alexander Usyk?
I don't know. I mean, Delboy's faced Tyson Fury twice, so that's not going to happen. Usyk maybe, yes. Do you know what? If they're so happy and willing for Daniel Dubois to face Dillian White, who's on the verge of a world title fight, why not just throw Daniel Dubois in with Tyson Fury? It's an easy fight to make. You both in the same stable. So, well, I think you are. I don't even know if you are. Well, Bob Adams is promoted, I believe. So I don't know. I'm sure there's logistics and all that stuff to go on and camps and whatever, but I don't know. What I do know is Tyson Fury's got 15 names he can face in his division. I don't know the rankings for the heavyweights at the minute, but I'm sure he'll find a suitable opponent.
Eddie Hearn is pissed with the way it has progressed so far between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. He's saying the American's credibility will never remain the same. Now, there are rumors that the former heavyweight champion Wilder might be considering retirement. Hearn blames the team behind the Bronze Bomber, stating he finds it hard to understand why Wilder does not wish to fight for his lost title.
Weird, really weird. But mate, listen, maybe Wilder just he ain't got it in him. Maybe he's got his, 20 million or 30 million and goes, do you know what, I don't need this in my life anymore. And if that's the case, good luck to him. But how can you not want to avenge your defeat? You imagine AJ or us off the back of the Ruiz situation, getting in a position where he just went missing and you didn't hear from him. And then I just came out one day and went, and Ruiz's team went, sorry, it's expired. And I go, oh God. Well, we did want the fight, and Ruiz just goes off and defends the belt he won off you. When AJ lost, I've never seen a man more focused to get his belts and to beat this guy. So that's sometimes the difference of what's in some people and not in other people. But I just, weird. Weird all round. Weird from Wilder, weird from the team and Shelley Fink. How do you let this get in this position? Poor management. And this guy's credibility will never be the same because he didn't take the rematch with Tyson Fury.
All right. More on this one in the coming days. But on a sad note this morning, before we move on to football, the Nigerian Basketball Federation has mourned former D Tigers player Yomi Sangodei, who died on Tuesday. In a statement signed by its head of media, Fulabi Oni, the man was made the sportsman of the year at a particular point. That's not good news at all. But moving on and talking football, where there is some good news. Now, the federal government has okayed the restart of contact sporting activities, including football. According to the government, this will be effective from Monday, October 19th, 2020. The national coordinator of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Sani Aliu, stated this during a briefing in Abuja on Thursday. Sporting activities have been banned since March this year as part of measures to curtail the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. But speaking on Thursday in Abuja, Aliu said the lifting of restrictions on outdoor activities has been confirmed, and that including football.
Mr. President has approved the following. 1. That Nigeria further relaxes the restrictions in the third phase of the response while maintaining key limitations to curb the risk of a spike in cases. The major changes proposed by the Presidential Task Force are as follows. 1. Gradual and safe reopening of schools and the NYSC camps. 2. Recommencing of sporting leagues, in particular all outdoor activities such as football.
Well, while that would be giving a lot of joy to Nigerian football fans, the champions of the MPFL, before last season's issues now, talking about Enyimba, they will be up against Wilbros FC in a pre-season friendly right there in Aba. Excited, really, if you're an Enyimba fan or even an MPFL fan. Yes, the Wilbros side, they're taking it a notch higher. They'll be up against the two-time CAF Champions League winners. And, of course, the Enyimba side are preparing for the resumption of the Nigerian Professional Football League. And moving on and talking about the Super Eagles. All right, Super Eagles media officer Tony Bitoye has disclosed that Lask Linz goalkeeper Tobias Lawal will play for the national team any moment from now. Tobias Lawal was rumored to be part of the Super Eagles 25-man squad before the list was released, with the young goalkeeper's name omitted because of passport issues. Lawal, who has represented the Austrian youth teams, has clearly decided to join the Super Eagles after spending the international window with the team. But unlike Kevin Akpoguma, who quickly cleared from FIFA, Lawal would need to drop his Austrian passport to take on a Nigerian passport.
No, Tobias is Austrian. He was a former junior international for Austria. In Austria, they don't allow you to have two passports. Okay. If you want to pick up the Nigerian passport, you drop the Austrian passport. Okay. If you want to stay as Austrian, you don't pick up the Nigerian passport. So they are working on but he's been with us in camp for me, which is a sign that he loves to be with us. Fantastic young goalkeeper. If he drops his Austrian passport and switches, then it's possible. Being worked on now because he has identified with us. He's been with us. He's enjoying the camp, and he's a very, very good goalkeeper. So he knows that there's a future for him.
Super Eagles goalkeeper Maduka Okoye is disappointed not to have kept a clean sheet in the friendlies against Algeria and Tunisia in Austria, but wants to keep working to become the national team's first choice. The 20-year-old made his full debut for the Eagles in their 1-0 loss to reigning African champions Algeria on Friday, and was beaten from close range by Rami Ben Sebaini's 5th-minute strike. The Sparta Rotterdam goalie, who had his Eagles debut against Brazil last year, as a substitute, made some impressive saves in both friendlies, even though he failed to keep clean sheets. Quoting him, he said, "I'm happy to be in the team. It's always better to have a clean sheet, but I'm looking forward to more games with the team. I'll keep doing my thing and do my best and give my coach the reason to make me the Eagles' first choice goalkeeper." And former Wimbledon star John Fashanu, he says Nigerian fans always want their teams to win every trophy and urged Super Eagles coach Gernot Rohr to accept every criticism he gets. Rohr has played a total of 38 official matches since taking over the Eagles job in 2016. He has won 20, he's lost 11, and he's drawn 7, helping the squad qualify for the 2018 World Cup in Russia, as well as ending in 3rd place at the 2019 African Cup of Nations in Egypt. Quoting him, he said, "Nigeria has talented players, who are phenomenal, and the fans will expect more from their coaches. Criticism is not healthy, but if you are a national team coach of one of the most successful countries in Africa and people are not seeing instant success, they're going to criticize you. That is part of the game. Fashinu said, "We are Nigerians and there is nothing wrong with always wanting to be the best. We want to win trophies, we want to be the best, and we want to win whatever we can. We believe we should be because we have the product. If you are going to be the coach of the Super Eagles, then you have to bring success. And if you don't have it, don't sit down because people will come at you, and Raw must learn to live with it." All right, from there we definitely switch our attentions to the English Premier League. Well, yes, the leagues in Europe will be making a return this weekend, and England would also maybe will be champion in that one. Marcus Rashford, he has launched an online petition calling on the United Kingdom government to provide free school meals for more children. In June, the Manchester United striker successfully lobbied the government to extend its policy of providing free school meals for underprivileged children into the summer months through the school holidays. The 22-year-old also partnered with Fair Share and helped to raise £20 million to help provide free meals to those in need amid the COVID-19 pandemic. While he has since worked with supermarkets and food brands to create a task force with the aim of tackling child food poverty, Rashford's work in helping to tackle child hunger led to the England international being awarded an MBE in the Queen's birthday honours, after which he vowed to continue his fight. And Mikel Arteta has welcomed the buzz created by the signing of Thomas Partey. £45 million release clause. The Ghanaian international adds quality to Arsenal's midfield, and Arteta is excited by his addition, even if there were a few nervy moments waiting for the deal to be completed.
Well, he was here just yesterday. He's getting familiar with everything around the club. Today he will have his first training session, so everything has to come really quickly for him. We knew that before we signed him, but he's fit, he's very willing to start playing, and we'll see how he goes in the next few days. Yeah, I've seen the buzz around the place. I think the fans are really happy. I've seen some really positive reactions after we brought him. The same with the team, the same with the squad and the staff. I think it's a player that we have the radar on for a long time, and we have managed to bring him in, and I think it's going to be a really important addition to the team.
Before the international break, Arsenal beat Sheffield United. What positives would Mikel Arteta be taking from that game into the Man City game?
Well, I think it will be a completely different game. Sheffield's approach when they play us will be very different to City's. Very different demands in terms of what we have to do with and without the ball as well. I'm really happy the way we managed to win the game and how patient we were, and the improvements comparing to last year against this type of opposition. But again, you know that level of difficulty at Manchester will be another level.
All right, to the fixtures to expect. Everton will take on Liverpool. 12:30 is the time. Chelsea will be up against Southampton. Manchester City will take on Arsenal. Newcastle United will take on Manchester United. These games will be coming up tomorrow. An exciting Saturday, if you ask me, right there. But on Sunday, Sheffield United will be up against Fulham. Crystal Palace will take on Brighton. Tottenham will be up against West Ham United. Leicester City will take on Aston Villa. And moving on to the Serie A, Cristiano Ronaldo may have violated health protocols by traveling to Portugal for international duty, according to Italy's Minister for Sport, Vincenzo Spadafora. The Juventus forward linked up with his national side for the October fixtures after the Serie A champions had created a bubble at the team hotel, with 2 members of staff having tested positive for coronavirus. According to reports from Italy, Ronaldo returned 2 negative COVID-19 tests, but needed 1 more before being officially granted permission to have fiduciary isolation and travel to his homeland. Asked if Ronaldo's traveling violated coronavirus protocols, Italy's Minister for Sport told Rai Radio, "Yes, I think so, if there haven't been any specific authorizations from the health authority." And still with Juventus. Juventus recorded losses of 89.7 million euros for the financial year to June 30th. The Italian League champions announced on Thursday. Club president Andrea Agnelli chaired the ordinary shareholders meeting in Turin through video conferencing because of the pandemic, and the 9-time reigning Serie A champions reported a deficit, which included the 39.9 million euro shortfall from the previous financial year. Two games that will be coming up in the Serie A. 2 p.m., the assassin, Victor Osimhen, and his Napoli side will come up against Atalanta. And 5 p.m., we'll see Inter Milan come up against AC Milan. That's a Milan derby. Used to be feisty in those days, but it's not really as exciting these days. But I tell you, it promises to be an exciting one, really. The two teams really coming up in the Serie A. Sampdoria will take on Lazio. Crotone will be up against Juventus. Expect to see Simi Nwankwo for the Crotone side. On Sunday, Bologna will be up against Sassuolo. Spezia will take on Fiorentina. Torino will be up against Cagliari. Udinese will take on Parma Calcio. And Roma will take on Benevento. In the Spanish La Liga, 12 p.m. we'll see Granada come up against Sevilla. Ramon Aziz will be part of that one for Granada. Celta Vigo will take on Atletico Madrid. Real Madrid, 5:30, will be up against Cadiz. And 8 p.m. we'll see Getafe come up against Barcelona. On Sunday, we'll see Eibar take on Osasuna. Athletic Bilbao will be up against Levante. Villarreal will take on Valencia. Deportivo Alaves will be up against Elche. SG Huesca will take on Real Valladolid. Real Betis will be up against Real Sociedad. Well, Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting, he scored a brace, as well as Müller adding to the score sheet as Bayern did. Of course, it's what they've been doing over the past 2 to 3 years. They did tear apart Duren in the DFB Cup. But for games to expect in the league, Augsburg will take on RB Leipzig. Freiburg will be up against Werder Bremen. 2:30 is the time. Hertha Berlin will be up against VfB Stuttgart. Hoffenheim will take on Borussia Dortmund. Mainz 05 will be up against Bayer Leverkusen. Arminia Bielefeld will take on Bayern Munich. Borussia Mönchengladbach will be up against Wolfsburg. And on Sunday, we'll see FC Cologne take on Eintracht Frankfurt. Schalke 04 will be up against Union Berlin. That's the club of Taiwo Awoniyi. And in the French Ligue 1, Thomas Tuchel is worried PSG, that's Paris Saint-Germain, will only have 11 players available for Friday's Ligue 1 clash with Nîmes due to injuries, suspension and coronavirus protocols. The reigning French champions will be looking to pick up a 5th win in a row when they make the trip to Stade de Costeres on their return to action after a 2-week break. However, Tuchel confirmed at his pre-match news conference on Thursday that a number of players are either definitely out of the match or are major doubts. Marquinhos, Marco Verratti, Julian Draxler, Thilo Kehrer, Juan Bernat and Mauro Icardi are injured. Angel Di Maria and Lavin Kurzawa are banned, while Ander Herrera has contracted COVID-19. Meanwhile, new signing Danilo Pereira and Colin Dagba have been in close contact with players who have tested positive for coronavirus and must undergo another test on Thursday. There are also question marks over the fitness of Neymar and Kylian Mbappe on the back of a stacked international fixture list, which is a cause for concern for Tuchel, especially with Manchester United to come in the Champions League next Tuesday. And just to add, the Champions League returns next week. Let's just run through the fixtures to expect in France. Dijon will be up against Rennes. Nîmes will take on Paris Saint-Germain, as I said earlier. Reims will be up against Lorient. Marseille will take on Bordeaux. Strasbourg will be up against Lyon. Angers will take on Metz. Monaco will be up against Montpellier. Nantes will be up against Brest. Saint-Etienne will take on Nice. Lille will be up against Lens. And talking about the Golden Boy Awards, Erling Haaland, Jadon Sancho, and Ansu Fati, no need guessing, they headlined the final 20-name shortlist for the 2020 Golden Boy Award. The prize, presented by Italian newspaper Tutto Sport and won by João Felix last year, is given to the best player on age 21 or under from a top-tier league in Europe. Haaland is the leading contender for the accolade after scoring 44 goals across all competitions in the 2019-2020 season, 16 of those coming in 18 appearances after a mid-season move from Salzburg to Borussia Dortmund. Among all Bundesliga players last season to have scored at least 10 goals, only Robert Lewandowski, 81.2, had a better minutes per goal record than Haaland, who had 81.7. His Dortmund teammate Sancho finished the 2019-2020 league campaign with 17 goals and 16 assists, making him the first player since 2004-2005 season to register at least 15 in both categories in the same Bundesliga campaign. Well, I'll just be shocked if someone takes it from Haaland. International friendlies may cause huge problems during the pandemic, says the World Players Union General Secretary. FIFPro's Jonas Behr Hoffman said clubs and players are concerned about having to isolate should they catch the virus. And on that note, we call it a wrap on today's edition of Sports Attack. Thank you so much for your time. The Sports Crew will return at 3 p.m. for another exciting edition of today's Sports Attack. We'll be previewing the games to expect this weekend in the big leagues right there in Europe, as much as the return of football in Nigeria. My name is Wisdom Obina. Stay tuned to this dial, Today FM 95.1.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
All right, it's still your premium news talk and sports radio station, Today 95.1 FM, and my name is Wisdom Obina. I have Dina here. Anytime I see her, I always think of how many properties she could help me secure. But Dina, good morning to you.
Good morning.
As I would always ask, what do you have for us today?
What do you want me to have for you?
Outside your beautiful looks.
Okay.
Dina is very beautiful, by the way. But go ahead.
We have beautiful properties too. Of course, I cannot be telling something that is not beautiful. So we have beautiful properties, and we always say, like, you don't need to wait to buy real estate. Everybody sees that quote most of the time. You have to buy real estate and wait. A lot of people will say, oh, I have land doesn't finish. We all know that land doesn't finish, but they're not producing any of it, of course, because it's what we have on it. Some people are going to stand filling water to just create land for themselves. So, however, the thing is that you want to be a later investor. That's the question you ask yourself. Of course, and then they rush to buy land. Nobody's forcing you to rush to buy land. But if you have it now, stop procrastinating till that time. Instead, buy it and wait. Be among people that said, I bought it 500,000 and I'm selling it now for 5 million naira. Instead of people that will go and buy from people that bought it then. You have to choose where you want to belong. So, if you want to do that now, not even if, you should start doing that now. Buy the real estate and wait. So we have beautiful properties that you can buy and wait. You also have those you can buy and build. You also have those you can buy and move in if you want to move in immediately. So it all depends on what you want. So right now, if you're looking out for properties that you can buy and wait, and also build too if you want to, we have our Quiet Heaven layout phase 2. Just immediately after the airport, after the international airport, just immediately after. So obviously everybody knows that airport has good prospects tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if you're buying now, you know that tomorrow you're among people that will be saying, I live around the airport. I have properties around the airport because of the prospects there tomorrow. So that's going for 1.7 million naira only. And this place is very, like, it has an access road. All your documents comes with the cost. If you pay your 1.7 million naira, it has your deed of conveyance and registered survey plan. You don't need to pay for any other thing. They don't like bush entry around the community or people disturbing you. And one of the major things that people always have that fear is that fraudulent activity. Some people have been duped a lot in land, but they're still dogged. They still want to buy land because they know how important it is to secure investment in real estate. So for whatever real estate need you have, as long as you're in Port Harcourt, the people you should go to is Odibola Properties. They will take away those challenges for you. Not they. We will take away those challenges for you. So if you're looking out to get our number, you can reach Odibola Properties on 0704 237 7837. 0704 237 7837.
All right. I know you guys normally do inspections on Saturdays and Wednesdays.
And we've added Thursdays too.
Okay, that's nice. Anyone coming up this Saturday, and where are we going to?
We are going to anywhere you decide to go to, because but that's why we say we should call in and book for inspection, because inspection is free. So we have to know who and who is going and where are you going to. And we always tell you, come to the office. Let's leave from the office first. Our office is located off in Sirim Layout in Tombia Extension in Jerry Office 3. It's just very close to Mandela Car Wash, also very close to Liverpool Hotel. So it all depends on where you're coming from. So if you're looking out for the 1.7 immediately after the International Airport, the Quiet Heaven Layout, we can also go there. If you want to buy and build environment, we have our home view layout located off Mukrushi Boeche Road. That's going for 2.8. This place is well fenced, is well planned, it has access road. So if you want to build immediately, you can build. If you want to secure that tomorrow you want to resell, we call it land speculation, you can also do that. We have our Investors Delight, the Freedom layout, going for 550,000. So you can buy as much as you want in that area. It's off Igritali School Road. We have estates, we have buildings. So we don't have time. I know Wisdom is always looking at me like, you can't call everything on air like this. So that's why I said call Odibola Properties. And sometimes the location, that's why I said don't keep your thoughts in your head. You have to call to ask for inquiries. If you're feeling like, oh, I want to stay in GRA, call us first. You might not, you're not yet on air, doesn't mean we don't have it. So you can reach us on 0704 237 7837. 0704 237 7837. And like you said, tomorrow is Saturday, tomorrow is inspection, and that's the first step you have to do. This is like your in Port Harcourt, so why are you procrastinating to come for inspection? Inspection is free. Just join us for inspection. Inspect that property you've been imagining to have, and have it before the year runs out.
One last question before we let you run.
Okay.
I know people always get scared of all those bush entry, what have you. I know you've touched it before, but for those probably who are not, who want, do I still have to deal with other people after dealing with the Odibola properties? Is it just about you guys? Do I do everything? Will I still need to go and see community?
You don't need to do that. That's why we say we are just bridging that gap, because people actually have people they can buy from individual. They have people like individuals in those communities they can buy from them, but they prefer dealing with companies. That's why people go to real estate developers. And most clients actually buy people that already have properties, but you still see them securing real estate developers because they don't like that stress or people calling me today. One ESCO, communities have this group of people from 1 year, another ESCO come into the community and they start disturbing you, machine gun fee, oh, you pay to this set, you're not paying us. You're not going to deal with all that. That's why you have Odibola to bridge that gap for you. All right. So lastly, you can have our number 0704 237 7837. Have a lovely weekend.
All right, thank you so much, Dina.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Deeper Life Campus Fellowship presents a 3-day program unveiling the largest campus gathering with over 500 campuses. Theme: Emerge Beyond Limitations, featuring spiritual declarations, singspiration, supplication, and lots more. Convener: Pastor Dr. W.F. Kumuyi, General Superintendent, Deeper Christian Life Ministry. Date: Wednesday 21st to Friday 23rd October 2020. Venue: Deeper Life Campus Churches at Alakaya, Wokim, Choba, all in Uniport, Rumudara, River State University, Ignatius Ajuri University of Education, Borikiri Town, and other regional headquarters. To be a part of this program, register now at www.dclmph.org/emerge2020.
Bossa.
Bossa, bossa, bossa.
patience more to destroy very easily, but to build the wàhálà ni o, àfi ká ní sùúrù tó lọ́jọ́, sùúrù lèrè o, ẹ má jẹ́ àfàyọ̀ fọ́ o. So therefore, humility, o democracy, o politician, sùúrù lèrè ẹ má jẹ́ àfàyọ̀ fọ́ o. Legislator, o certificate, o gba master, o gba misisi, ọ̀nà democracy lẹ́sìn ẹ kọrin. Kí làwa ṣe? Ṣẹjọ́ làwọn àbáyé gbọ́. Kí làwa ṣe? Ṣèbáyé làwa jẹ níbí. Kí làwa ṣe? Ṣẹjọ́ làwọn àbáyé gbọ́. Kí làwa ṣe? Ṣèbáyé làwa jẹ níbí. Ẹ bá fi ẹlẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ àjàyè orí níbí. Bó bá dọ̀la, ká ní ọ̀rọ̀ wàhálà wa lọ. Bàbá ní àsọkò sọ́jà bára lé o. If we search ourselves, nobody innocent o. Bàbá ní àsọkò sọ́jà ṣé afárá lé lórí. Everybody guilty pátápátá, nobody innocent o. So make we stop all this hypocrisy. Make we get patience more, build better democracy. Orin. Kí làwa ṣe? Ṣẹjọ́ làwa fàyè gbọ́. Kí làwa ṣe? Ṣèbáyé làwa jẹ. Kí làwa ṣe o? Kí làwa ṣe? Ṣẹjọ́ làwa fàyè gbọ́. Kí làwa ṣe? Ó sú mi o. Ṣèbáyé làwa jẹ níbí. Ẹ bá fi yẹlẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ àjàyè orí níbí. Ó bá dọ̀la, ká ní ọ̀rọ̀ kí làwa ṣe? Ṣẹjọ́ làwa fàyè gbọ́. Kí làwa ṣe? Ṣèbáyé làwa jẹ níbí. Kí làwa ṣe? Ṣẹjọ́ làwa fàyè gbọ́. Kí làwa ṣe? Ṣèbáyé làwa jẹ níbí. Ẹ bá fi ẹlẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ àjàyè orí níbí. Bó bá dọ̀la, ká ní ọ̀rọ̀ wàhálà wa lọ. Sùúrù lérè o. Ó bá bàjẹ́ kò ṣètúnṣe gbọ́rọ̀ o. Ohun ẹlẹgẹ́ ní democracy yìí o. We must be patient o, but vigilant o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá sùn ẹ mọ́ ṣe fajúdé o. Ká máa sọ wọn tọwọ́ tẹsẹ̀ ojú lalákọ̀ fi ń sọ̀rí o. Àwọn àríjẹ́ ń di bàjẹ́ ń bẹ́ ń tòṣì o.
Okay. I don't know where Lagbaja's spirit did this morning, but my own spirit is very high. You understand? Because we don't already did democracy since. I don't even know whether we go change this music, because we don't already enter the democracy. But at the verse, my verse will say, every other aspect of what they call them, of life don't open. Now only our own they never open. They won't make we die of hunger. Entertainment, una no want make entertainment open. Una still put restriction for wedding and things that will for go do reception, get small money from MC. Una lock them down. I don't understand. Every other place don't open now. Every other place don't open. Wetin we do you now? Why we say now only entertainment now na one lockdown now? I don't understand this kind of thing. We get family too. Some of us now from this small show money, doing MC and comedy work now they take survive, they feed our family. Now don't open everywhere. When you reach election, I know they fear corona.
Campaign no
dey fear corona at all. Now only entertainment. Now the other day now here say Lagos and other place don't open cinema. But here now They don't want open cinema. How many people they enter inside cinema at once? The highest where plenty pass. Now about 50 people.
No be lie.
Now about 50 people.
No be lie.
Where we say now they say to give for burial and other things. So to enter inside the movie hall, you dey even that one even dey easy. I say you go fit wash your hand, go inside jejely. You know they touch anybody because everybody get their own chair. But una lock cinema down. Yet una open campaign. Yet una. I know they understand this kind of thing. Sometimes there's some things they tire you.
As in
if until say Corona still dey, then lock down cinema, lock down other small events, shows the way we suppose they do to help our family. Then Edo
election hold. Campaign hold. Ondo campaign hold. Election hold.
Ondo hold. When I listen to the result, the winner win with 390,000. The second we win with 200 and something thousand. If you put the rest together, I don't enter 600,000. People will come do election stay together. Yes, Corona no touch them. Now we go do small show and wedding. We go do small things them. Now on our lockdown. This is not fair. It is not fair. If I want open everybody. Make Kukuma know say Corona don't come out.
They don't open football.
Yes, at least on a lock border. Corona no fit pass. Make him day for where. Make day for where in day. Make we day here. Now don't go just come lock us down now. Every other place don't open. People don't return to work. Normal life don't return. Forget all the numbers. Then where would they even see 3 today, 5 today? I don't know where they see the testing. But bad as it bad. Wanna open us down now? Every other thing now don't they function. Only entertainment now on lockdown. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Qu'est-ce que c'est de toi Jean-Paul avec where people go they maintain? So maybe we even say 100. You understand? Because we get people where they do so many things. You know, the football club. Wetin go wrong if we have OPM football club? Wetin go wrong if we have wetin be the other one them? Christ Embassy football club. Wetin go wrong? So that you go take some of these youth away. We have the talent, we have the boys. Make no be say na only when you get crusade. Now you go remember say these boys are good to carry speaker. May they go set up, may they go evangelism. What are we doing? What is the church doing for the youth really? What? Now only to organize program. 5 make I leave 5 abundant shower blessing, thunder fire devil crusade. Why? That is the only time you will want our youth to come and participate. They will go about printing flyers, doing banners, doing this thing. But what exactly the church they do for the youth? I know say one time Redeem here they do one what they call them, one singing competition what they call shift. Every year they do shift. But believe me, once they get winner for that year, you know the year the person they shift come out. The person they shift come out from limelight. They know they nurture, they know they carry along, they know they build them. Once you don't win, they give you the motto and wait till you win. You don't go. Nobody they follow you up. Nobody they train you as a youth. Nobody they carry you along to say, let us see. No, I don't say not be everything be sports. So I give small kudos to Pastor Chris Oyakilome of Christ Embassy. I give her a thumbs up.